John McCain has again proven why he's known as a maverick within his party. In an interview about his service during the Vietnam War, McCain took a thinly veiled, very thinly veiled swipe at President Trump, who in 1968 received a medical deferment from the draft because of a bone spur on his foot. While he didn't mention the name of the president by name, the implication was very clear. Here's McCain on C-SPAN last night.
One aspect of the conflict, by the way, that I will never, ever countenance is that we drafted the lowest income level of America, and the highest income level found a doctor that would say that they had a bone spur. That is wrong. That is wrong.
Well, McCain expanded upon that comment in an appearance on The View today. Let's watch this.
It still makes me mad when I think that if we are all asked to serve, wonderful. Yeah. But if some of us are allowed not to because of our income or our position or our influence, then that is a disgrace. Yeah. I don't consider him so much a draft dodger as I feel that the system was so wrong that certain Americans could evade their responsibilities to serve the country.
And what's your relationship like with the president?
Almost none.
Yeah. Zero.
Okay.
Wow.
Terrible. Almost none.
Well, that's an honest answer. As a candidate, Donald Trump famously questioned McCain's service in the military, saying he's not a war hero, and as president, he's continued to jab at the senator. On Friday, ousted White House strategist or outlier Steve Bannon took on McCain, as well as the second President Bush, in a speech to California Republicans. Here's how the audience reacted when Bannon mentioned McCain's name at that event.
Within 24 hours of each other, there were three speeches. President Xi in China, our beloved President George Bush. That's a piece of work. And John McCain.
Well, you heard it, hang him. As Politico reported that event, when Bannon mentioned McCain's name, someone in the audience yelled, and we all heard it, hang him. Well, joining me right now is Carla Marinucci, who covered the event for Politico, and Ken Vogel is with the New York Times. Carla, it's good to see you again. Haven't seen you since Chronicle days, but thank you for coming on. Could you hear that guy yell, hang him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this was one of the most shocking things I've seen. I've covered these conventions for almost 20 years. And to listen to Bannon mention McCain and that cry of hang him, I was expecting someone in the audience to respond, to say no, to get up and walk out. There was complete silence, Chris. It really showed how there we were in Orange County, the birthplace of the Reagan Revolution and the 11th Commandment. Thou shalt not speak ill of another Republican. That incident showed me the 11th Commandment has been shredded, I think, among the GOP today.
Ken, I think it was Gene McCarthy who said he knew he could run against Lyndon Johnson when he could go into any bar in America and trash Johnson and not get punched in the nose. And I guess now you could go into any Republican or Trump rally in this country, say something terrible about a war hero like John McCain and not get punched in the nose, but in fact have somebody yell out like they're Jane Fonda. I mean, what's going on here? What happened to the ideology of being supportive of our troops, and especially guys? He got shot down over Hanoi. He ditched the plane. He didn't ditch the plane. Crashed into the. I've been over there in that little lake in Hanoi. Right, and he didn't surrender. Put his arms up in the air. He crashed into the enemy capital and got beat up in the water. Barely got out of the water alive. And then he went to prison for 7 years. While he's beat up for another 7 years. And this guy questions his service. I don't get. This is pure. I don't know what it is. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Bannon's speech and the reaction to it from the crowd there in California in some ways encapsulates these two prongs of the Trump zeitgeist, if you will, this ferocious anti-establishment sentiment, as well as this sort of rejection of what they see as political correctness, that they can, you know, be as brash and as sort of unpolitically correct as they want. And certainly there's no less politically correct thing to do in American politics than to scream out hang 'em about not just any war hero, but John McCain, who went on, of course, to have a very decorated career in the U.S. Senate.
Carla, you know, I don't see McCain as establishment. I think he's a maverick. He always has been. I mean, he's the guy that pushed McCain-Feingold. They really cleaned the swamp. Unfortunately, the politicians and the courts overruled them because they wanted to have their access to the honey bin again, or the honey jar. Lots of campaign, unlimited money. But he really tried to literally empty the swamp, drain it.
Yeah,
and how can you call him
and
Mr. Establishment? I don't think.
You know, I think what you're seeing, too, is this battle-scarred, grizzled veteran fighting his last war for the soul of the Republican Party. I mean, he's there talking about, as he did with his Liberty Medal speech, talking about lofty ideals like America being the last best hope. That is not the kind of rhetoric we're hearing from Trump. And the folks that were there in California cheering and catcalling Bannon on, I think, are a lot of younger Republicans who like the mano a mano, who like the aggressive talk. And frankly, a lot of them, Chris, I think, do not remember the Vietnam War, were not born in the Vietnam War, and can't really respect what he's been through in that service.
Trump remembers the Vietnam War as when he was fighting, trying to avoid VD. I think that's what he was saying. Anyway, let's take a look at that.
You know, I'll tell you, it's amazing. I can't even believe it. I've been so lucky,
right,
in terms of that whole world.
You've never gotten a social disease.
It is a dangerous world out there. It's scary. It's like Vietnam, sort of like, you know, the Vietnam era.
It is your personal Vietnam, isn't it?
It is my personal
It is. You've
Vietnam.
said that many
I feel
times.
like a great and very brave soldier.
Here he is bragging about not getting a sexually transmitted disease as his alternative to service in the jungles of Vietnam. Anyway, last week, Senator McCain scathingly rebuked a reporter for asking whether he'd oppose all of Trump's initiatives because of their relationship. Let's watch.
Has your relationship with the president raised to the point that you are not going to support anything that he comes to you and asks?
Why would you say something that stupid? Why would you ask something that dumb? Huh? My job as a United States Senator is a senator from Arizona, which I was just reelected to. You mean that I am somehow going to behave in a way that I'm going to block everything because of some personal disagreement? That's a dumb question.
Ken, have you ever been rebuked by a politician that powerfully? I mean, he really made the guy look like a doofus. Your thoughts?
In fact, I think I may have been rebuked by Senator McCain that powerfully. But it does go to show that Senator McCain sees this as about something bigger than him versus Donald Trump. It's about the honor of public service and the honor of our institutions of our public life, including the Senate and the executive branch, as well as the military. And I would just say, per what Carla said and what you asked about that, McCain being held up as sort of an avatar of the establishment is not correct, and it really undervalues the way in which he has bravely stood up against his own party, not just on campaign finance reform, but on immigration reform, on climate change, and the way that it's come around. I don't think that Steve Bannon or Trump has really taken such a hard stand against a sacrosanct issue of the Republican Party like John McCain has. So it's a little ironic that they're calling him out.
Your intellectual capital is wonderful. That was all true. Carla, it is so great to see you back reporting for us, too, with Politico. But please come back. Carla Marinucci, formerly of the San Francisco Chronicle and now of Politico out of Oakland. By the way, good luck with the Warriors. Anyway, I don't think they need my luck anyway. Ken Vogel.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.